Louisiana hides secrets that should have stayed buried. Behind its charming balconies and moss-covered plantations are houses where screams were heard long after the victims were gone. These walls remember everything: the terror, the pain, the shadows that still walk at night. Some houses in Louisiana never stopped living in the past. The doors open on their own. The halls echo with footsteps that do not belong to the living. Even the bravest ghost hunters walked in with confidence and ran out shaking, because what they met inside was not human. If you think you know haunted places, Louisiana is here to prove you wrong. These houses are not just haunted, they are cursed. Every room holds a story that can freeze your blood. Every corner hides something watching, waiting, breathing right behind you. Haunted House Number 1. The LaLaurie Mansion, New Orleans. The LaLaurie Mansion stands in the heart of New Orleans, beautiful on the outside but rotten with a darkness that has terrified the city for almost 2 centuries. Visitors describe it as a place where the air feels heavy, where the silence seems alive, and where the walls feel too aware of anyone who enters. The mansion is considered one of the most cursed locations in all of Louisiana, and every story tied to it feels like a nightmare that never truly ended. The legend begins with Madame Delphine LaLaurie, a woman known for her wealth, charm, and influence. But behind the elegant facade was a cruelty that turned the mansion into a secret chamber of horrors. Neighbors began to whisper about the screams they heard at night, muffled yet unmistakably human. People saw enslaved workers in shocking conditions, trembling and terrified. But whenever authorities questioned her, Madame LaLaurie smiled, denied everything, and continued her life of luxury. What broke the facade was a fire. Flames spread through the mansion, exposing the hidden rooms where unimaginable torture had taken place. The city was horrified. Crowds gathered, furious and shocked, but Madame LaLaurie vanished before she could face justice. Ever since that night, the mansion has never known peace. People say the spirits of the tortured still linger in the halls, trapped in the misery they suffered. Tenants who tried to live in the house reported waking up to violent banging on the walls, furniture moving on its own, and shadows appearing in the corners of the room. Some felt hands gripping their ankles in the dark. Others ran out in the middle of the night, refusing to return for a single belonging. A man once claimed he was dragged across the floor by something he could not see. A woman said she woke up to a figure standing over her bed, watching silently, its face twisted in agony. Construction workers abandoned their jobs after hearing wails echoing from inside sealed rooms. Even paranormal investigators, who spent years chasing ghosts, admitted that the LaLaurie mansion felt different, darker, meaner, alive. The mansion is now one of the most feared landmarks in the French Quarter. People passing by feel sudden chills. Some hear whispers calling for help. Tourists report seeing ghostly faces in the windows, faces that vanish when they blink. And every so often, someone swears they see Madame LaLaurie herself, standing on the balcony just as she once did, looking down at the street with cold, empty eyes. The LaLaurie mansion remains a place where the past refuses to stay buried, where the suffering never stopped echoing, and where the spirits of the wronged still cry out for justice. It is a beautiful home wrapped around a nightmare, and anyone who walks too close can feel the weight of the terror still trapped inside. Number 2. The Myrtle Plantation, St. Francisville. The Myrtle Plantation is often called the most haunted home in the American South, and once you hear its stories, you understand why. Surrounded by moss-draped oaks and silent fields, the house looks peaceful, almost beautiful. But that calm is only on the surface. Beneath the warm Louisiana air lies a darkness so heavy that guests describe feeling watched from the moment they step onto the property. The house seems to breathe, the walls seem to listen, and the spirits inside never truly rest. The history of the plantation begins with tragedy, betrayal, and violent death. One of the most chilling legends involves a woman named Chloe, an enslaved girl owned by the family that once lived here. Stories say she was caught listening at a door. As punishment, her ear was cut off, leaving her with a permanent scar hidden beneath a green headscarf. Terrified and desperate to regain favor, Chloe baked a cake for the family. Some claim she laced it with poison. Others say it was never meant to kill, only to make them ill. But whatever happened, the cake caused the death of 2 children, and Chloe was blamed for it all. She was dragged outside, hanged, and thrown into the river. Her ghost, they say, still wanders the plantation. People see a woman in a green scarf standing in doorways or hallways. Sometimes she appears at the foot of beds. Sometimes she walks across rooms without making a sound. Photos taken by visitors have shown her silhouette, clear as day, even when no one else was in the room. Staff refuse to enter certain parts of the house alone because they hear slow footsteps behind them, following at the same pace, stopping when they stop. But Chloe is not the only spirit trapped here. Over the decades, the plantation saw multiple deaths, mysterious accidents, and even murders. Each one left a mark on the home. Guests sleep in rooms where people took their last breath. Some wake up to cold hands touching their faces. Others hear children running in the hallways long after midnight, giggling, then crying, then disappearing into silence. One of the most frightening stories is about the grand piano. Even when no one is in the parlor, the keys begin to press themselves, playing a slow, broken tune. Staff unplugged the instrument, removed the bench, even locked the room, but the piano still plays. Visitors standing outside the door hear the melody drifting through the keyhole, soft and eerie, as if someone is practicing for an audience that no longer exists. There is also the ghost in the mirror. In the hallway hangs an antique mirror with a cloudy surface. When sunlight hits it, faint handprints appear on the inside of the glass, impossible to clean or remove. Faces sometimes show themselves in the reflection, faces that do not belong to anyone in the room. A woman in an old dress was once seen crying silently within the mirror. When the guest turned around, she was alone. The Myrtles is also home to what people call the whispering spirits. At night, visitors lying in bed hear voices murmuring in the walls. Not one voice, but several, all overlapping. Some speak clearly. Others sound like they come from deep underground. People report hearing their names whispered in their ears in the dark. A few guests ran out of their rooms screaming, convinced someone was standing right beside them, whispering into their hair. Doors slam shut by themselves. Chandeliers sway even when the air is still. Cold spots appear in rooms where the temperature drops instantly, freezing the air around anyone who stands there. Women report feeling someone tug at their skirts. Men say they feel fingers brush their shoulders. Children burst into tears the moment they step inside because they see people that no one else sees. Perhaps the most unsettling spirit is the one known as the man at the staircase. He appears only at night. Guests walking past the main staircase often freeze because they see a tall man standing on the steps, staring at them with dark, hollow eyes. He never speaks. He never moves. But the moment they blink or turn their head, he vanishes. Some say this is the ghost of a man shot on the porch in front of his family. Others believe he is a spirit older than the house itself, watching, guarding, judging. Even paranormal investigators, who travel the world searching for haunted places, call the Myrtle Plantation one of the most active locations they have ever visited. Many refuse to return after hearing heavy footsteps running across the floor above them, even though the entire second floor was empty. One investigator recorded a voice saying, "Get out," spoken so clearly that everyone in the room heard it. The Myrtles is not just haunted. It is alive with the spirits of the past, with suffering, with unfinished stories, and with ghosts that cling to the land. Every room feels like a memory that refuses to fade. Every hallway feels like someone is standing just behind you. The plantation does not let go of the people who died there, and it does not let visitors forget what happened on its grounds. It remains one of the most terrifying and mysterious places in Louisiana, a home where history bleeds into the present, where shadows whisper, and where the dead still walk. If you listen closely, you can hear them. If you stay long enough, you might see them. And if you are unlucky, they might see you too. Number 3. The Oak Alley Plantation, Vacherie. The Oak Alley Plantation in Vacherie sits behind a long corridor of ancient oak trees, each branch twisted like grasping hands, frozen in time. Each root sunk deep into the earth, as though trying to hold back the secrets buried beneath it. The house is beautiful at first glance, almost too beautiful, like a portrait hiding the truth beneath the paint. But anyone who has stepped through its doors knows the charm fades quickly, giving way to a heavy silence that breathes on its own, a silence that feels alive, watching, waiting, remembering everything that ever happened inside those walls. Most people who visit Oak Alley come for the history, the architecture, the stories of the sugarcane era, but that is only the surface. Those who stay long enough begin to sense the parts of the house that are not shown in brochures. There is a coldness inside the hallways, even on hot Louisiana days, a coldness that creeps up the spine so slowly you barely notice until it hits the base of your neck, making you turn around even when no one is there. Former workers and caretakers have told stories that all sound different but feel the same. They describe footsteps in the long hallway late at night, slow and dragging, as if someone exhausted is walking with heavy chains around their ankles. Some have heard soft crying from empty rooms, the kind of crying that sounds too hopeless to be human, echoing and fading as soon as the lights come on. A few brave souls who stayed overnight reported doors opening gently at first, then slamming shut with violent force, as if something unseen is throwing a silent tantrum. Those who try to ignore the disturbances say the house makes sure they do not sleep, filling the night with whispers and movements just outside the edge of their vision. One of the most frequently reported apparitions is that of a woman in a long white dress who stands silently at the upstairs balcony. She appears only for a moment, looking out over the oak-lined path, as if waiting for someone who never returned. Witnesses say her face is blurred, like a reflection in water, and her presence brings a chilling sadness that clings to the air long after she disappears. People have tried to capture her in photos, but the camera always glitches, freezing or going completely black, as if the house refuses to let her be taken away a second time. There is also the spirit of a young boy, often seen running across the yard or sitting quietly at the edge of the porch. Visitors say he appears curious rather than threatening, but his sudden vanishing is always unsettling. Some believe he is tied to the land rather than the house, forever stuck in the moment of his last breath. Others claim he walks the plantation, searching for a mother who can no longer hear him. The bedrooms upstairs hold the heaviest energy. People entering them describe a strange pressure around the chest, as if the air becomes too thick to breathe normally. Some leave the rooms instantly, unable to shake off the sense that someone is standing behind them, following them out. Paranormal investigators have brought in equipment over the years, and each time the results are the same. The temperature drops dramatically in specific corners of the rooms. Cold spots that move like something invisible is pacing back and forth. Voice recorders have captured faint but unmistakable whispers, sometimes single words, sometimes entire phrases too distorted to fully understand. What makes Oak Alley so disturbing is not just the hauntings, but the reason they exist. The plantation has a long history of suffering, loss, and injustice, and the land seems unable to let any of it go. The beauty of the place clashes sharply with the darkness that clings to it, creating a tension that even skeptics cannot fully deny. Some say the spirits linger because they want their stories remembered, not buried under polished floors and restored walls. Others believe the house itself is alive, feeding on memories, holding on to every emotion poured into it over the centuries. Visitors often leave Oak Alley with a strange feeling they cannot explain. Some feel watched, even after they get into their cars. Some hear the sound of rustling skirts behind them as they walk away. A few report vivid nightmares for days afterward, dreams of figures standing at the end of their bed or tapping softly on their windows. Whether the haunting is real or psychological, one thing is certain: Oak Alley leaves a mark. The plantation stands today as one of Louisiana's most beautiful locations, yet also one of its most haunted. It lures thousands every year, drawn by its charm, its mystery, and the promise of experiencing something otherworldly. But everyone who enters feels the same thing sooner or later: a sense that the house is still awake, still listening, still remembering. And once you have stood beneath those ancient oak trees and felt that heavy silence settling around you, you will understand why many visitors leave quickly and never return. Number 4. The Bocage Plantation House, Darrow. The Bocage Plantation House in Darrow may look peaceful at first glance, with its elegant white columns and soft pastel exterior. But beneath that beauty lies a darkness that refuses to fade. The house stands in a quiet part of Louisiana, surrounded by tall trees and wide fields, yet the air around it feels strangely heavy, as if the land itself is holding on to memories that should have been forgotten long ago. People who visit often describe a deep, unsettling feeling the moment they approach the front steps, a sense that something unseen is already watching them from the shadows inside. The house dates back to the early 19th century, a time filled with secrets, tragedy, and cruelty. Many historians say Bocage carries more emotional weight than most plantation homes because of the number of unexplained incidents that happened within its walls. Even the workers who renovated or restored the house over the years reported strange experiences that made them leave suddenly or refuse to return. One man said he felt a cold hand grab his shoulder when no one else was in the house. Another worker claimed he heard a woman humming from an empty room, the soft melody floating down the hallway before disappearing completely. Visitors often say that the atmosphere inside the house changes depending on the room. Some areas feel warm and almost normal, while others feel freezing cold, even on the hottest Louisiana days. The upstairs hallway is particularly notorious for this. People walking through it describe a sudden drop in temperature, followed by the soft sound of footsteps behind them. When they turn around, no one is there. But the footsteps continue, slow and steady, echoing off the old wooden floors. One of the most frightening accounts comes from a caretaker who lived on the property for a short time. He claimed that almost every night he would hear someone pacing across the second floor long after midnight. The footsteps were so loud, he thought intruders had broken in, but each time he went upstairs, the hallway was empty. The pacing would stop the moment he stepped onto the landing, only to begin again once he returned downstairs. He lasted only 2 weeks before resigning, saying the house felt alive and angry. The most common apparition reported at Bocage is that of a woman dressed in old-fashioned clothing, usually seen standing at the top of the staircase or near the bedroom windows. Witnesses say she appears solid for a moment, like a real person, before fading into a soft blur of white mist. Some believe she is the spirit of a woman who died tragically in the home, possibly from illness, heartbreak, or violence. Others think she represents several restless spirits trapped together, overlapping in the memories of time. Whatever the truth, her presence brings an overwhelming sense of sorrow. People who have seen her say the room suddenly grows cold, and a wave of emotion washes over them so strongly it feels like someone else's grief pressing against their heart. Another disturbing phenomenon in the house is the sound of voices. Paranormal investigators have captured whispered conversations on their audio devices, though the words are almost impossible to understand. Sometimes it sounds like arguing, other times like crying. A few recordings include a sharp, urgent, "Get out," spoken in a voice that is neither male nor female. Even guests on tours have reported hearing murmuring behind the walls, as if someone is standing just out of sight trying to speak, but unable to fully cross into the living world. There have also been reports of objects moving on their own. Doors that were firmly shut suddenly swing, open without explanation. Light fixtures sway, even when there is no breeze. Some visitors claim to have seen small shadows darting across the corners of rooms, quick and silent, like someone running to hide. These shadows never make a sound, but they leave behind a deep uneasiness, the type that settles in the stomach and refuses to go away. What makes Bocage Plantation particularly terrifying is the constant feeling of being watched. People say the house does not welcome strangers, and anyone who enters can feel its attention immediately. Some describe the sensation of eyes following them from room to room. Others say they feel a weight on their shoulders, as if unseen hands are resting there. A few have even felt a sudden pressure on their back, like someone trying to gently push them forward or stop them from leaving. At night, the house becomes even more active. Lights flicker for no reason. Windows rattle violently, even when the wind outside is completely still. Some people staying overnight reported waking up to the sound of breathing right beside their bed. When they opened their eyes, the room appeared empty, but the breathing continued for several seconds before fading into silence. The Bocage Plantation House is one of those places where history refuses to remain buried. Pain, suffering, and unresolved stories linger in every corner. The hauntings are not loud or dramatic, but slow, persistent, and deeply unsettling. The house does not scream, it watches. It does not chase, it waits. And the longer you stay inside, the more you feel its presence tightening around you like invisible vines. Even today, many locals avoid the house completely. They say anyone who tries to uncover its secrets ends up leaving with nightmares that do not fade. Some visitors report feeling drained or sick after touring the home, as if the house absorbs energy from anyone who steps inside. Others leave with an unshakable feeling that something followed them out. Bocage Plantation remains one of Louisiana's most beautiful structures, but beneath its charm lies something ancient, restless, and unwilling to let go. It is a place where the past breathes, where the walls listen, and where the spirits trapped inside continue to wander endlessly, searching for peace they may never find. If you stand still long enough within its halls, you may hear them too. Soft footsteps, quiet voices, or the whisper of a presence that knows you do not belong there, yet watches you all the same. Number 5. The Beauregard Keys House, New Orleans. The Beauregard Keys House in New Orleans is one of those places that looks gentle and inviting from the outside, yet carries a darkness that settles into your bones the moment you cross the threshold. Located in the French Quarter, it stands surrounded by narrow streets, wrought iron balconies, and the soft glow of old lanterns. But nothing about its charm prepares visitors for what waits inside. This house is beautiful, yes, but it is also deeply haunted, filled with restless spirits whose stories are as disturbing as the tragedies that birthed them. The house was built in the early 19th century, and through the years it served as a home, a refuge, and unfortunately, a witness to violence. One of the most infamous events tied to the Beauregard Keys house is the brutal Mafia massacre said to have occurred right on the property. According to local lore, a bloody shootout among rival groups left several men dead, some collapsing inside the home, while others died in the courtyard. Their screams echo through history, and many believe their spirits never left. Visitors often report hearing the sound of rapid footsteps, like someone running for their life, followed by the sharp crack of phantom gunfire. These sounds come out of nowhere and vanish just as quickly, leaving behind a thick silence heavy enough to make your skin crawl. Some have heard men shouting in Italian, the voices urgent and angry, though no one is near. Others swear they have seen shadowy figures lurking near the courtyard doorway, shaped like men, but disappearing the moment someone looks directly at them. Inside, the atmosphere shifts with every room. The parlor feels tense, as if someone unseen is listening to your every movement. The upstairs hallway feels cold, even when the Louisiana heat is boiling outside. People walking through the hall sometimes freeze in place, for reasons they cannot explain. Some feel a hand brush past their arm, cold and quick. Others feel a presence standing behind them, silent but intensely close, watching. One of the most disturbing reports comes from a tour guide who said she heard heavy breathing behind her during a late evening tour. When she turned, the hallway was empty, yet the sound lingered, heavy and oppressive. Visitors and historians alike claim that the spirits are attached to the tragedies of the past and cannot rest. Some have felt objects move on their own, doors slam shut unexpectedly, and lights flicker without reason. Many paranormal investigators have attempted to document the phenomena with cameras, audio recorders, and EMF detectors, but the house seems to resist explanation. Shadowy figures often appear in photographs, cold spots are recorded in areas where no ventilation exists, and EVP recordings frequently capture whispers and cries too distinct to dismiss. The combination of historical violence, tragic deaths, and lingering anger is said to have made the Beauregard Keys house one of the most haunted locations in New Orleans, attracting thrill seekers and ghost hunters despite the dangers. Whether or not you believe in ghosts, a visit to the Beauregard Keys house is enough to make anyone feel uneasy. The air inside is thick with sorrow and tension. Doors creak even when untouched. Floorboards groan under invisible footsteps. Visitors have described sudden chills, hair standing on end, and the sense that someone is observing them from the shadows. Locals warn that those who enter the house may leave with an understanding of fear that words cannot fully capture. The Beauregard Keys house is a chilling reminder that some histories are not only written in books, but also etched into the very walls of the buildings that witnessed them. It stands as a testament to the violent, tragic, and haunting past of New Orleans. For those brave enough to explore its rooms, the house offers a glimpse into the terror that once consumed its inhabitants, and perhaps a brush with the lingering spirits that refuse to rest. Visitors are advised to tread carefully, respect the house and its history, and be prepared for an experience that could linger in their minds long after they leave. Whether it is the sound of phantom footsteps, ghostly apparitions, or the oppressive sense of being watched, the Beauregard Keys house guarantees an encounter that is unforgettable, chilling, and deeply haunting. Number 6. The San Francisco Plantation House, Garyville. The San Francisco Plantation House in Garyville, Louisiana, is a haunting reminder of a past steeped in wealth, elegance, and dark secrets. From the outside, its white columns and grand architecture suggest a place of Southern charm and hospitality. Yet step inside, and the air is heavy, as if the walls themselves are saturated with the whispers of long-forgotten souls. Visitors often describe an overwhelming sense of unease, as though the house is alive with memories it cannot release. Built in the mid-19th century, the plantation became a symbol of prosperity for the family who owned it. But prosperity was built upon the suffering of enslaved people whose stories still linger, and it is their presence that many believe fuels the hauntings today. The plantation has been the site of numerous reports of ghostly apparitions, strange noises, and inexplicable cold spots. Shadows flit across rooms where no one stands, and footsteps echo down hallways long after the last visitor has left. Guests often recount hearing soft whispers in the parlors and bedrooms, whispers that seem to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. Some have seen fleeting figures dressed in period clothing, moving gracefully through rooms that are otherwise empty. Others have felt sudden chills sweep over them, even in the heat of a Louisiana summer, accompanied by the sensation that someone is watching, silently observing their every move. Perhaps the most unsettling stories involve the plantation's upstairs rooms. Visitors describe doors that slam on their own, lights flickering without electrical cause, and objects that move seemingly at random. Paranormal investigators have recorded strange audio phenomena, including disembodied voices calling out names and shadowy figures that appear in photographs but vanish when seen in person. The spirits of the San Francisco Plantation House seem tied to the turbulent history of the property, and they are not always welcoming. Chonan story tells of a maid who died tragically in one of the upstairs chambers, and her presence is still felt. Guests report feeling a sudden pressure on their shoulders or a cold hand brushing against them, followed by the unmistakable sound of soft sobbing. Others speak of fleeting glimpses of a young woman in a white dress who vanishes when approached, leaving only an icy chill behind. These encounters are not isolated, but happen repeatedly, drawing thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts eager to experience the unexplained. The plantation's extensive grounds are also considered haunted. Visitors walking through the gardens at dusk have reported seeing ghostly figures moving among the trees and hearing the distant sound of horse hooves, though no horses are present. Some have claimed to hear cries for help, carried on the wind, as if the land itself remembers the pain of those who suffered here. Even the oak trees that line the driveway seem to exude a presence, casting long shadows that feel almost human in form at twilight. The San Francisco Plantation House has become a popular destination for ghost hunters, historians, and tourists seeking an encounter with the supernatural. Despite its beauty and historical significance, the property's reputation for hauntings is well established. Some believe the spirits remain because of the violent and sorrowful events that occurred here, unwilling or unable to leave behind the life they once knew. Whether it is the appearance of apparitions in period dress, unexplained noises echoing through the grand hallways, or the eerie cold spots that appear without cause, the San Francisco Plantation House offers a chilling glimpse into the past. It serves as a reminder that history is not only recorded in books, but is also imprinted on the very walls and grounds of places that witnessed it. Visitors are cautioned to explore with respect and to be prepared for experiences that may test their courage. Some say the house itself seems to breathe with the memories of those who came before, and that even the bravest of visitors cannot leave untouched by its haunted presence. A visit here promises not just a journey through history, but also a confrontation with the lingering spirits of a bygone era, making the San Francisco Plantation House one of Louisiana's most terrifying and unforgettable haunted locations. Number 7. The Huma's House, Darrow. The Huma's House in Darrow, Louisiana is often referred to as the Sugar Palace due to its grandeur and the vast sugarcane plantations that surround it. But behind its elegant facade lies a history steeped in tragedy, secrets, and reported hauntings. Built in the 1800s, the mansion stands as a testament to Southern wealth, with sprawling gardens, ornate interiors, and intricate ironwork balconies that hint at a luxurious past. Yet those who visit cannot help but feel a sense of unease, as if the air itself is heavy with the echoes of lives long past. Visitors to the Huma's House have reported a range of paranormal phenomena. Some claim to see shadowy figures moving gracefully through the halls, often dressed in period clothing that dates back to the antebellum era. These apparitions are sometimes fleeting, disappearing when approached, leaving only the cold chill of their presence behind. Guests frequently describe sudden drops in temperature in specific rooms, accompanied by the sensation of being watched. It is as if the mansion itself is aware of every footstep, every whispered word, and every lingering gaze. The history of the Huma's House contributes to its haunting reputation. Once a bustling plantation, the estate was home to both wealthy owners and the enslaved people whose labor built the property. It is believed that the sorrow, suffering, and untimely deaths of these individuals left a lingering spiritual imprint. Some paranormal enthusiasts suggest that the apparitions and mysterious sounds are echoes of past events that the mansion refuses to release, a spectral record of both privilege and oppression. The interior of the mansion is reported to be especially active during the evening hours. Guests and staff have heard disembodied voices calling out names, the clinking of unseen china in the dining rooms, and soft footsteps in empty corridors. Several have felt sudden touches, like a hand brushing their shoulder or a tap on the back, with no one in sight. The library and the upstairs bedrooms are particularly noted for strange occurrences, where shadows flicker in candlelight and objects sometimes move without explanation. One of the most chilling stories involves a woman said to haunt the master bedroom. Visitors describe glimpses of a figure in a flowing dress, gazing out the window, only to vanish when they approach. Some believe she was a former owner, waiting eternally for something lost in her lifetime, while others suggest she may be one of the many souls who suffered silently on the plantation grounds. The cries and whispers reported in the house often seem to carry emotions, grief, longing, and occasionally anger, adding an unsettling layer to every encounter. The gardens and grounds of the Huma's House are also known for eerie activity. Walkways lined with ancient oak trees and statues create long shadows that appear almost animate at dusk. Visitors have reported feeling a presence, following them through the gardens, hearing unexplained footsteps on gravel paths, or glimpsing figures among the trees who vanish before they can be identified. Even the air itself seems different here, as if it holds the memories of centuries of life, toil, and death that have occurred on the estate. Paranormal investigators have long been drawn to the LOUISIANA'S house. Using cameras, audio recorders, and other investigative tools, they have captured evidence of unusual phenomena, voices, moving shadows, and cold spots that defy scientific explanation. Some guests who have stayed overnight claim to have experienced vivid dreams of the past, seeing events play out in the rooms where they slept, further blurring the line between history and haunting. The LOUISIANA'S house, with its beauty and elegance, stands as a stark reminder that grandeur often comes with a dark side. The mansion is not just a home, but a repository of memories, some joyful, some tragic, and some terrifying. For those brave enough to explore its halls, the experience is both a historical journey and a confrontation with the supernatural. Every room, hallway, and garden path holds a story, and the spirits seem eager to ensure that visitors feel their presence. Whether it is the flicker of a shadow in the drawing room, the soft whisper of a name in the dark, or the sudden drop in temperature that raises goosebumps along your arms, the LOUISIANA'S house leaves no doubt that it is one of Louisiana's most haunted locations. Its combination of history, beauty, and chilling paranormal activity ensures that it remains a site of fascination, fear, and enduring mystery. Number 8. The Magnolia Plantation, Derry. The Magnolia Plantation, located in Derry, Louisiana, is one of the most haunted estates in the state, known for its tragic history and unsettling paranormal activity. Established in the 1800s, the plantation once thrived as a large sugarcane estate, but the lives of those who lived and labored there left behind echoes that are still felt today. Visitors often speak of an oppressive atmosphere, as if the air itself carries the weight of past sorrows and hidden secrets. Inside the mansion, numerous reports detail ghostly apparitions, shadowy figures, and cold spots that appear suddenly and without explanation. Many claim to have seen figures in period attire walking through the hallways, disappearing when approached. Others have heard the faint sounds of laughter, crying, or voices calling out, even when the rooms are empty. The plantation's library and main halls are frequent locations for these unexplained phenomena, where objects are sometimes found, moved, or displaced without reason. The Magnolia Plantation's history contributes heavily to its reputation as a haunted site. The plantation witnessed numerous deaths, tragedies, and hardships, particularly among the enslaved individuals who lived and worked there. Some believe that these spirits remain restless, manifesting their anguish through the eerie activity that visitors report. Paranormal investigators have noted unexplained shadows, cold drafts, and EVPs that suggest the presence of multiple entities. The gardens and surrounding grounds are no less unsettling. Stately oaks and moss-draped trees cast strange shadows at dusk, and visitors have reported feeling watched while walking along the plantation paths. Sounds of footsteps, whispers, and fleeting glimpses of figures have been reported, often leaving guests with an uneasy feeling that they are not alone. Some have even claimed to see figures on the veranda or in the windows, only to vanish when approached. The plantation's main house is the focal point of the hauntings. Guests often describe sudden drops in temperature, the sensation of being touched by unseen hands, and the sense of an unseen presence following them from room to room. Many who spend the night have shared stories of vivid dreams or night terrors featuring scenes from the plantation's history, suggesting a connection between the physical location and the spirits of the past. Paranormal enthusiasts are drawn to the Magnolia Plantation for its combination of history, beauty, and chilling activity. Evidence collected includes EVPs, photographs of shadowy figures, and recordings of unexplained noises. Some guests have even claimed to witness ghostly reenactments of events that took place centuries ago, adding to the plantation's air of mystery. Visitors leave the Magnolia Plantation with a mix of awe and fear, impressed by its historic architecture and expansive grounds, yet unsettled by the pervasive sense of lingering spirits. Every hallway, room, and garden seems to whisper its own story, reminding those who enter that the past is never truly gone. The plantation stands as a haunting testament to Louisiana's history, a place where beauty and terror coexist in equal measure. Number 9. The Andrew Jackson Hotel, New Orleans. The Andrew Jackson Hotel, nestled in the heart of New Orleans, is a location steeped in history and paranormal intrigue. Known for its elegance and historical significance, the hotel also carries a dark reputation that has made it one of the most haunted establishments in Louisiana. Guests and staff alike report a variety of chilling encounters, ranging from fleeting shadows to unexplained noises that echo through the hallways late at night. The origins of the hauntings at the Andrew Jackson Hotel are closely tied to its long and storied past. Built in the 1800s, the hotel witnessed countless events during New Orleans' turbulent history, including duels, deaths, and mysterious disappearances. It is said that some of the spirits who linger within the hotel are former residents, patrons, or even workers who met untimely ends, their restless energy permeating the building. Visitors have described numerous paranormal phenomena, including doors opening and closing by themselves, whispers heard in empty corridors, and sudden cold spots that send shivers down the spine. Many have also reported seeing shadowy figures moving silently along the upper floors, often vanishing when approached. The grand lobby and guest rooms, while stunning in design, seem to be the most active areas for supernatural activity. Staff at the hotel have shared unsettling accounts as well. Housekeepers report objects mysteriously shifting or disappearing, lights flickering for no apparent reason, and the sensation of being watched while cleaning rooms. Some have even heard footsteps following them through the hallways, only to find no one there. Guests staying overnight have reported waking in the middle of the night to hear distant voices, soft sobbing, or the unmistakable sound of a door creaking open. The hotel's history of tragedy is often cited as a catalyst for these hauntings. During its centuries of operation, it has been the scene of numerous deaths, some of which were sudden or unexplained. Local legend tells of a spirit known as the Lady in White, who roams the corridors searching for a lost love, appearing at unexpected moments to frighten or bewilder visitors. Other apparitions are less defined, manifesting as dark shadows or ghostly figures caught in peripheral vision. Paranormal investigators have taken an interest in the Andrew Jackson Hotel due to the frequency and intensity of the reported activity. Using equipment such as EMF detectors, thermal cameras, and EVP recorders, they have captured unexplainable phenomena. Some recordings include faint whispers that seem to respond to questions, while thermal imaging has revealed unexplained cold shapes moving through rooms where no one is present. Guests who have experienced the hauntings firsthand often describe a mix of fear and fascination. Some are unnerved by the sudden chills and eerie noises, while others feel a strange connection to the building's past. The hotel's architecture with its old wooden floors, creaking stairs, and ornate decor, only amplifies the haunting atmosphere, making every visit a truly immersive experience. The surrounding streets and alleyways near the hotel are also said to carry supernatural energy. Visitors walking near the hotel at night report seeing figures in old-fashioned attire, hearing distant laughter or arguments, and feeling sudden changes in temperature. These outdoor encounters complement the experiences inside, suggesting that the spirits are not confined to a single space, but are woven into the very fabric of the area. For those drawn to history and the paranormal, the Andrew Jackson Hotel offers a uniquely chilling experience. It combines the elegance of New Orleans' architectural heritage with the thrill of unexplained activity, leaving visitors with stories that linger long after they leave. Each creak of a floorboard, flicker of a light, and whisper in the corridor serves as a reminder that the past and present coexist and that some spirits may never rest. Number 10. The Herman Grimma House, New Orleans. The Herman Grimma House, located in the heart of New Orleans, is a building that embodies both the grandeur of historic architecture and the chilling tales of the supernatural. Known for its ornate design, wrought iron balconies, and deep ties to the city's past, the house is also infamous for its unsettling paranormal activity that has captivated ghost hunters, historians, and visitors alike. The house has earned a reputation as one of the most haunted places in Louisiana, where the elegance of its past clashes with the eerie presence of spirits that refuse to move on. Originally built in the 1800s, the Herman Grimma House has a rich and complex history. Its previous occupants include influential figures in New Orleans society, merchants, and local politicians, each leaving a mark not only on the architecture, but also on the stories surrounding the property. Over the decades, the house witnessed events of joy, tragedy, and untimely deaths, and many believe that the sorrow and pain of the past residents still linger in its halls. The house's reputation for being haunted is partly due to these historical layers, where every floorboard and shadow seems to tell a story from another time. Visitors to the Herman Grimma House have reported numerous paranormal encounters. Some describe seeing shadowy figures gliding across the rooms or standing silently in corners, disappearing the moment they are noticed. Others report hearing disembodied footsteps echoing through empty hallways, the creaking of doors that swing open with no wind, and whispers that seem to come from nowhere, yet carry an unmistakable human tone. Guests often speak of sudden temperature drops in certain areas, a chilling reminder that something unseen is present. The house is particularly known for the activity in its upper rooms and the grand parlor. The upper floors, once bedrooms and private spaces, are said to be frequented by spirits of former residents who met tragic ends. The parlor, with its high ceilings, ornate moldings, and antique furnishings, is often described as a hotspot for unexplained phenomena. Visitors have claimed that objects move on their own, chairs slide across the floor without explanation, and mirrors reflect images that are not physically present. Staff and caretakers of the Herman Grimma House have also shared disturbing experiences. Housekeepers often report objects being relocated without reason, doors opening and closing on their own, and the sensation of being followed while performing routine tasks. Security personnel have described hearing footsteps in vacant areas and glimpsing fleeting shadows, adding to the growing lore that the house is never truly empty. Even tour guides recount moments where they felt a sudden drop in temperature or an invisible presence brushing past them while sharing stories with groups of visitors. Local legend speaks of several spirits that inhabit the Herman Grimma House. One such apparition is known as the Lady in Black, believed to be the restless spirit of a woman who suffered a violent or untimely death. Witnesses report seeing her wandering the halls late at night, her figure draped in a flowing black gown, silently moving from room to room. Others have mentioned seeing a childlike spirit who appears in the shadowy corners of the upper floors, peering curiously at intruders before vanishing. The combination of these apparitions contributes to the house's reputation as a place where the living and the dead coexist uneasily. Paranormal investigators have long been fascinated by the Herman Grimm house. Equipped with EMF detectors, infrared cameras, and audio recording devices, researchers have documented a variety of phenomena. Some EVP, electronic voice phenomena, recordings reveal faint whispers and responses to questions, seemingly coming from spirits that linger within the house. Thermal imaging has captured unexplained cold spots and shadowy forms moving across rooms, despite no one physically being present. These findings have only deepened the house's notoriety and drawn more thrill seekers and paranormal enthusiasts to explore its mysteries. The house's history of tragedy and death is often cited as the source of its supernatural activity. Over the years, various residents of the Herman Grimm house met untimely or mysterious ends, leaving behind unsettled energy. Some believe that these spirits are trapped due to unresolved business, grief, or anger, manifesting to anyone who enters the home. Visitors frequently describe a mixture of fear and fascination, compelled by the stories, yet unsettled by the palpable tension that seems to hang in the air. Even the exterior of the Herman Grimm house adds to its eerie allure. The surrounding streets are dimly lit, and the atmosphere of the old neighborhood is filled with a sense of foreboding. On quiet nights, passers-by report hearing voices carried on the wind, fleeting glimpses of figures at the windows, and the sensation of being watched. The house, with its imposing facade and intricate architectural details, seems almost alive, guarding the secrets of its past and the spirits who refuse to leave. For those drawn to both history and the paranormal, the Herman Grimm house offers an unforgettable experience. It serves as a bridge between the elegance of New Orleans' past and the haunting presence of its spectral residents. Each room, hallway, and hidden corner holds stories of former lives, lingering regrets, and ghostly activity that challenges the boundaries between the living and the dead. Tourists, investigators, and thrill seekers who step through its doors are immediately enveloped in an atmosphere that is both mesmerizing and terrifying. Whether you are a skeptic or a believer, the Herman Grimm house leaves a lasting impression. The creaking of its floors, the sudden chills, and the inexplicable sounds create a sense of unease that is difficult to shake. Visitors often leave with stories of their encounters, recounting every detail with a mix of fear and awe. The house has become a symbol of New Orleans' haunted legacy, drawing people from across the world who are eager to experience its mysteries firsthand. Number 11. The Old State Capitol, Ghost House, Baton Rouge. The Old State Capitol in Baton Rouge is one of Louisiana's most infamous landmarks, not just for its historical and architectural significance, but also for the chilling ghost stories that have surrounded it for decades. Standing tall with its Gothic Revival style, turrets, and dark stone facade, the building exudes an eerie atmosphere that becomes almost tangible as dusk falls over Baton Rouge. Visitors and staff alike have reported an array of paranormal activity that has solidified its reputation as a haunted location that even the bravest ghost hunters approach with caution. Constructed in the mid-1800s, the Old State Capitol has witnessed a turbulent history of political intrigue, violence, and tragedy. It served as the seat of Louisiana's government for many years and has been a silent observer to contentious political debates, heated arguments, and even acts of aggression within its grand chambers. Many believe that the intense emotions and conflicts of the past have left residual energy, manifesting in unexplained occurrences that defy logical explanation. Inside the old state capitol, reports of paranormal activity are numerous and varied. Visitors have described hearing footsteps echoing through the empty hallways, as if unseen figures are pacing silently. Doors reportedly open and close on their own, while lights flicker inexplicably in rooms that are otherwise unoccupied. Some guests claim to have felt cold drafts in enclosed areas, sudden chills that send shivers down their spines, and an overwhelming feeling of being watched. These experiences create a spine-tingling sense that the building is alive with the echoes of its past. One of the most frequently mentioned apparitions is that of a shadowy figure seen roaming the upper floors late at night. Some witnesses describe a tall man in dark clothing, often near the former legislative chambers, as if he is still overseeing the political affairs that once occurred within those walls. Others have reported fleeting glimpses of ghostly women dressed in period clothing, wandering silently through the corridors, disappearing when anyone tries to approach. The old state capitol seems to be a stage for spirits that replay fragments of history endlessly, their stories intertwined with the very bricks and mortar of the building. Paranormal investigators have documented a range of unsettling phenomena at the site. EMF readings spike in certain rooms with no obvious source of electricity. Thermal cameras capture unexplained figures, and audio recordings occasionally reveal faint whispers, sometimes forming words in a tone that sends chills down the spine. Many of these investigations suggest that the building is a hotspot for residual energy, with some events possibly tied to the intense historical and emotional weight that the location carries. Visitors often recount a combination of fear and fascination when touring the old state capitol. The building's Gothic architecture, complete with vaulted ceilings and dimly lit passageways, enhances the feeling of stepping into a haunted past. Guests report hearing unexplained noises during guided tours, seeing doors slowly swing open, or even feeling a sudden presence behind them as they walk through empty rooms. For some, the experience is so unsettling that they are reluctant to leave certain areas, convinced that they are not alone. The exterior of the old state capitol contributes to its eerie ambiance. At night, the shadows cast by its turrets and spires create a dramatic, almost cinematic effect. The surrounding grounds are quiet and still, with the rustle of leaves or the occasional distant cry of an animal adding to the suspense. Many locals claim that the building is a magnet for supernatural activity, with ghostly figures sometimes visible from outside the windows, their forms flickering like shadows against the historic glass. Over the years, the old state capitol has become a destination for both history enthusiasts and paranormal seekers. Its haunted reputation has been reinforced by countless accounts of ghostly encounters, from unexplained noises and apparitions to sudden temperature drops and a pervasive feeling of being observed. Visitors often leave with chilling stories of their experiences, describing moments of genuine fear and wonder that blend historical context with supernatural intrigue. For those fascinated by the paranormal, the old state capitol provides a rare opportunity to explore a historic site where the past is palpably present. Every hallway, chamber, and staircase holds layers of history and mystery, making it a place where the line between the living and the dead seems almost imperceptible. Guests are warned to expect the unexpected, as the spirits that inhabit the building appear to have no interest in leaving or being forgotten. The old state capitol continues to stand as a testament to Louisiana's history and its enduring connection to the supernatural. Its halls echo with stories of political drama, personal tragedies, and ghostly encounters, creating an atmosphere that is both fascinating and terrifying. Whether approached as a historical landmark or a paranormal hotspot, the old state capitol leaves an indelible impression on everyone who crosses its threshold, a reminder that some ghosts never truly rest. Number 12. The Cornstalk Hotel, New Orleans. The Cornstalk Hotel in New Orleans is a chilling landmark known not just for its historic charm, but for the sinister whispers that seem to linger in its hallways long after sunset. Visitors often speak of an unsettling atmosphere, a palpable tension that fills the air, as if the building itself remembers the tragedies that have occurred within its walls. The hotel's peculiar nickname originates from its eerie past, with stories of mysterious deaths, unexplained disappearances, and restless spirits that have haunted the property for decades. Inside the Cornstalk Hotel, guests have reported hearing faint footsteps echoing through the empty corridors, even when no one else is present. Doors slam shut on their own, lights flicker without cause, and shadows appear in the corners of rooms, only to vanish when approached. Many visitors describe an overwhelming feeling of being watched, as though invisible eyes follow every movement. The energy in the hotel is often described as heavy and oppressive, a stark contrast to the elegance and historic charm of the architecture. One of the most commonly reported apparitions is that of a spectral figure dressed in old-fashioned clothing, wandering the halls silently. Some claim to see a tall, thin man whose face is obscured, moving slowly past doors and disappearing into walls. Others have witnessed a female figure, her face pale and expressionless, drifting through rooms and vanishing as if carried away by some unseen current. These sightings have made the Cornstalk Hotel a magnet for paranormal investigators and thrill seekers alike, all eager to witness its haunted phenomena firsthand. Paranormal researchers have documented a variety of strange occurrences at the hotel. Electromagnetic field readings often spike in specific rooms, audio recordings capture whispers and faint cries, and thermal cameras sometimes reveal shadowy forms that cannot be explained. Many believe that the building retains residual energy from past events, particularly from violent deaths and tragedies that occurred on the premises, creating a hotspot for supernatural activity. Guests who stay overnight frequently recount experiences that defy explanation. Some wake to find objects moved or missing. Others hear footsteps pacing outside their rooms, and a few report feeling sudden chills or the sensation of someone brushing past them in the darkness. The hotel's history of tragedy seems to seep into the present, making every creaking floorboard or flickering light feel like an omen. The exterior of the Cornstalk Hotel also contributes to its haunting reputation. At night, the shadowed facade, with its historic architecture and looming presence, creates a foreboding sight. The surrounding streets are quiet, and the rustling of leaves or distant sounds can be amplified into eerie echoes that seem to emanate from the building itself. Locals warn that even passing by the hotel after dark can be unnerving, with some claiming to see ghostly figures through the windows or hear strange cries emanating from the upper floors. Over the years, the Cornstalk Hotel has become a destination for those drawn to the paranormal. Ghost hunters and tourists alike are fascinated by the combination of historical significance and supernatural activity. The hotel is not only a place to stay, but also a site to experience the lingering presence of spirits who may have unresolved business or a desire to remain part of the living world. The stories surrounding the Cornstalk Hotel continue to grow as new visitors report their own eerie encounters. Whether it's hearing unexplained sounds, seeing apparitions, or feeling an unseen presence, the experiences of those who enter its doors contribute to a chilling legacy. The hotel stands as a reminder that some places carry the weight of past tragedies, where the boundary between the living and the dead is tenuous, and the spirits are never truly at rest. If you are brave enough to stay, the Cornstalk Hotel promises an unforgettable experience. Its mix of history, elegance, and unexplainable paranormal activity creates an atmosphere that is both captivating and terrifying. Guests are warned to expect the unexpected, as the restless spirits of the past seem to wander the hallways with no intention of leaving, making every visit a journey into the unknown. As we reach the end of our terrifying journey through some of the most haunted places across the globe, it is impossible not to feel the lingering chill of the spirits we have spoken about, the shadows that drift through the corridors of ancient castles, the whispers that echo in long-abandoned mansions, the cold gusts that sweep through cemeteries and old hospital halls. These places are more than just buildings or historic sites. They are living memories of tragedy, violence, heartbreak, and sometimes pure malevolence. Each story, each haunting, is a reminder that the past never truly dies, and that the echoes of human suffering, of unresolved mysteries, can linger long after the living have gone. From the dark forests of Romania to the misty mountains of Scotland, from the haunted hotels of North Carolina to the murder houses in Brazil and the United Kingdom, we have seen that some locations are so cursed, so imbued with paranormal energy, that even the bravest souls hesitate to tread their floors after dark. The thrill of fear, the allure of the unknown, and the irresistible curiosity to experience the supernatural firsthand is what draws people to these locations. Yet, at the same time, it is what makes these places so chilling. The stories you have heard tonight, the accounts of sightings, unexplained sounds, shadows, and restless spirits, they are real to those who have witnessed them, and they serve as a chilling warning to anyone who dares to enter. If you have felt your heart race, your skin crawl, or a chill run down your spine while listening, then you understand why ghost hunters, thrill seekers, and even locals often tread lightly or avoid these places altogether. Each haunted house, each cemetery, each cursed town has a personality, a history, and a presence that refuses to be ignored. Whether it is the sorrow of lost souls trapped in their former homes, the rage of spirits seeking vengeance, or the lingering energies from decades or centuries of tragedy, these locations command respect, caution, and sometimes fear. It is important to remember that while these places are fascinating, and while the stories may be compelling, they are also sites of immense emotional and spiritual weight. Some of the houses have been the scenes of horrific crimes, some of the towns have witnessed centuries of suffering, and some of the forests and natural areas carry legends so old that the land itself is said to hold the memories of those who died there. Visiting these locations is not just an adventure, it is a step into a world that exists alongside our own. A world where the boundary between life and death is thin, and where unseen eyes may watch every move you make. For those of you who have followed along this journey through haunted history, it is our hope that you have felt both the thrill of discovery and the chill of fear. These stories remind us of the fragility of life, the power of memory, and the mysteries that still haunt our world. They inspire awe, curiosity and sometimes dread, but they also connect us to the human experience in ways that are both haunting and unforgettable. To walk in the footsteps of the restless dead is to confront the unknown, and it is to acknowledge that there are forces at work beyond what we can see or understand. If you enjoyed this exploration of the paranormal, the haunted, and the terrifying, there are a few ways you can continue the journey with us. First, make sure to like this video or content, as it supports our work and helps us continue to bring you the most chilling stories from around the world. Every like is a signal that you are brave enough to face the unknown, and every like helps others discover these haunted tales. Next, share this content with your friends, family, and fellow thrill seekers. These stories are meant to be experienced together, to spark conversation and imagination, and to allow others to feel the thrill of fear from the safety of their own homes. Sharing is not just caring. It is a way to challenge others to confront the paranormal, to question what is real and what is merely legend, and to experience the stories that have haunted generations. Finally, make sure to subscribe to this channel or follow our content platform. By subscribing, you ensure that you never miss a chilling story, a haunted location, or a real ghost encounter. You join a community of explorers, investigators, and storytellers who are unafraid to confront the shadows, who are eager to uncover the hidden histories of the haunted world, and who understand that the most compelling tales are often the ones that make us feel fear, awe, and fascination all at once. Remember, the haunted world is vast, mysterious, and full of secrets waiting to be uncovered. The stories we have shared tonight are just a glimpse into a much larger realm of unexplained phenomena, restless spirits, and cursed locations. By liking, sharing, and subscribing, you not only support our work, you become part of this journey, part of the community that seeks to understand the paranormal, and part of the audience that embraces the thrill of fear in its purest form. So, if you are ready, stay curious, stay brave, and remember that the next haunted location, the next ghost story, and the next encounter with the unexplained may be closer than you think. Whether you choose to visit these places in person or simply explore them through these stories, respect the history, acknowledge the spirits, and always tread carefully. And above all, never forget that in the world of the haunted, the living are never truly alone. The dead may watch, and some secrets are best left undisturbed. Like, share, and subscribe to join us on more terrifying journeys. Explore the unknown, confront your fears, and discover the haunted corners of the world where history, legend, and the supernatural collide. You are now part of a community that dares to look into the darkness, and together, we will continue to uncover the mysteries that lurk in the shadows.